Oh, whoops. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Group 1 of the Octofinals of the PRT CUP 2024. I am your host, Quarantined. We've got a good group for you today. In first position, playing as yellow, we have Arco. In the second position, playing as white, we have Samson Sharp. In the third position, playing as orange, we have Brilliant Frog. In the fourth position, playing as red, we have Pete. In the fifth position, playing as black, we have Ivor Sama. And in the sixth and final position, playing as pink, we have General Elitar. Very tough group, very stacked group. I think this is going to be pretty difficult. So the settings today, is my mic kind of loud? It looks like it's kind of peaking a couple of times. Hopefully not too bad. So the settings today, so we're on US Midwest, which is one of the new maps from the US Advanced Pack. It's progressive cards, world domination, I believe 90-second turn timer. Alliances are off. Blizzards are on, obviously. Fog is off. Portals are off. And special modifier, which some of you may have heard in other tournaments, but I believe this is the first time we're using it in PRT. No bonus. Specifically, as long as there are 6 people alive, as long as everyone in the lobby is alive, a bonus cannot be held. If you hold a bonus while everyone is still alive, you have to bot out on your next turn, which adds a bit of difference to it. It's mainly to make sure that these games don't stalemate, because if bonuses are held in progressive world dom, it usually ends up with kills being unprofitable and nothing in the game happening. Other than that, though, so we're seeing everyone take their first turns. Looking at spawns, we'll look at Arco's first. He's pretty spread around, real good. That 2 in Michigan's I feel will be very important. He's in just about every corner. He's in Ohio, he's in North Dakota, he's in Kansas. He's spread through the middle of the board. His spawn, very spread out, which means his stacks are quite weak. However, this isn't zombie, so he doesn't really have to worry about that. It gives him a lot of options on places to go if he feels he may be threatened somewhere. Then looking at white, Samson's spawn. Pretty a little centralized, but not terrible. They have positions in just about every corner, just like Arco. So I would say the first 2 positions are looking pretty good. Third position, Frog. 2 stacks, kind of a big position in North Dakota. He's in Iowa, he's in Kansas. He's pretty centralized in the middle and south. Really no access to the northeast, which could be a problem later. Especially with red kill guarded in Michigan there, which, speaking of red, looking at Pete's position, only 1 position on the far left in Nebraska there. He also has the 2 in Iowa, but it's kind of locked in. Does Elitar know about the bonus modifier? Because it would appear that he wants to take Nebraska. And honestly, if I'm Pete, I take advantage of his ignorance and move out of the way. They were, to be clear, all 6 players were notified that this was a rule. It was on the settings since the beginning of the week. Frog himself put a message in chat that telling everyone right before the game started that modifier does exist. So, I mean, if someone falls for this, it's really on them. Come on, Pete, move out of the way. You know that you want this to happen. Yeah, no, stay there. Yeah. No, Frog, shut up. Come on, Frog, this would be funny. This would be hilarious. Okay, I think Elitar's aware. But it would be funny. Anyway, let's look at spawns again. So now people have started to spread out, so spawns aren't as evident. But Elitar's spawn did kind of suck. That is definitely something you can say. And he's trying to hold 12 territories. That's what the spread of the 2s is. He's trying to hold 12. Will he be allowed to? On a map like this, probably not. He'll be the only one to do so. Everyone else is like Arco, Ivor, Samson are all at 8 or 9. Pete's at 11, Frog's at 10. I just don't think this is a map where anyone's going to let him hold 12. So it's kind of a fruitless endeavor, spreading his troops out thin. But no, I think, well, his spawn was all right. He's kind of where he needs to be. He's in all the corners, but he's not very kill guarded. I'd say the person he has to worry the most about is Black, who has access to his Michigan position. In fact, has access to basically all of him except Ohio. So it's very imperative that he keeps that. However, Pete does have access. Pete have good lines on him. Pete has pretty good lines on Elitar, except for no, Pete kind of just has lines on him. Which could be a problem later, but the main issue is the 5th position player when you're in 6th. And right now, the 5th position player does not have his kill. And that's not going to change with the portals, so someone's going to have to move before that becomes viable for Ivor. And also, I think I was looking at Pete's spawn. Pete's spawn isn't terrible. Could be better. He has no access to the northwest, really. Or very, very limited access. The blizzards do change things slightly here. It makes Michigan way more choked, and it makes it a one-way passage into Ohio. So you, if you are not in there, like for like orange and yellow and orange and black are not, they'd have to go through red's 4. And as soon as I got through red's 4, if they wanted to get to say Arco's 4, yellow's 4, they'd have to go through either a white 5 or a pink 3. So that is a deep pocket that Arco is stuck in, which is very good for him as the first position player because even though he'll be getting the first trades, he'll be getting the weakest trades, which means that he will be the weakest player pretty consistently throughout this game. So I mean, while he does have the advantage in trades, if he misses a trade, it's very likely that he will be dead in the second or third rotations. Elatar moves his Minnesota stack north. I think that's correct. Currently sitting in Aberdeen. Don't ask me how I know that. I'm going to know some of these purely off because I live in the Midwest. Specifically that portion of it. I live in South Dakota, so I know the Northern Plains fairly well. Arco moves into Chicago and just takes a card. I thought he was going to stay there for a second. But yeah, no, I don't think... I think it would be unwise for them to let Elatar hold 12. I know he's in the last position, so he's going to have the most troops anyway, and kind of needs to. But I would say considering his position right now, I feel like there's really no reason to give him more advantage than he already has in terms of troops. Because he's definitely not dying. Or at least not for now. It does kind of look like Pete might be going for him, because I think Pete is much more confident in the kill on Elatar than the kill on Ivor currently, because Ivor's way up in North Dakota, which Pete does not have access to currently. Or at the very least, if he were to go up there, he'd have to go through Elatar anyway. So yeah, from the Dakotas, Pete has no access, so it'd be a lot better for him to go for Elatar, who is kind of in the front there. As for Ivor, if he doesn't have kill-ons on Elatar, then there's really no reason for him to have kill-ons on anybody. He just should spread himself out, make himself as hard to kill as possible, and hope for either someone to not trade on 5 that he has access to, or for someone to feed. Elatar trades. This is a real Elatar classic right here. Is trading early in Brog World Dom in the 6th position. Hits Arco's 4. Hits his other 4. And he completely removes the kill guard that Arco has. Arco is now even weaker than he would have been previously, and is now in big trouble. Why would Elatar do that? Beats me. I'm assuming just because he believes Arco is a threat, as, you know, many consider Arco to be the greatest player in the world, and he currently is, I believe, #1 on the rankings and has been for quite some time. He was dethroned for a bit by Mamba, but that was only for a couple days, I believe. Otherwise, I think for the last year straight, he's been #1. So, you know, a formidable opponent and a very lucky bastard. But very avant-garde, that's what we'll call it. There's really nothing else to say about plays from Elatar. Maybe Elatar just won that corner to himself, you know? Just really wanted to be stuck in there, all cozy, on his lonesome. I think he was also hoping Simpson would maybe block him. I don't think so. I think Elatar just intended for that to be a move on Arco. Which, to be fair, if Elatar were to make a kill, it would probably be on whoever's in first position. So maybe that's just him preemptively trying to make better lines on Arco. But that position in North Dakota is still sneaky. Arco spawned in just about as, like, cramped of a spawn as you can get. He had so many corner positions, so many places tucked away, and even with Elatar hitting those two, he still has some left. A very advantageous spawn for someone who is going to be the weakest player here. Now, even more so. The real question is, how does the board respond to what happened? I don't think anyone blocks Arco more than he already is. He's already pretty damn safe. And again, he's first position. So no one's directly gunning for him because, you know, they'd have to count on him missing a trade, which counting on Arco missing a trade is very, very... Let's just say it's not the correct play to make. Well, now Arco gets his trade. Obviously, still very weak. It's so funny that Elatar did that. Like, he used, to be clear, in a normal sense, Elatar would trade last and get the 15 trade, Instead, he chose to trade first and get the 4 trade so he could do that. Yeah, and Arco is not going to retaliate because that would just be a further waste of troops and ensure that he dies early. And considering this is a points tournament, dying early is very, very important. In fact, it just might screw your chances of moving on to the next round. Actually, this still isn't that much of an issue for Arco because I'm pretty sure he finished tied for second at the end of last week. So I think even if he gets last year, he's probably still making it to the next round. I think only 12 players are getting cut of the 48. So he's probably still fine even if he gets last, but, he'd probably prefer not to. Arco's a pretty stoked player. This is true. Arco does not react to things, really. Or at least not violently. He just bides his time. If something bad happens to him, he doesn't really look at it as something that bad, which is kind of a liberty that you can have as a player that lucky. I mean, you can kind of just assume things are going to roll back into your favor. And it would probably be a pretty safe bet to do so. Oh, guys, Frog's going to take Indiana. Ooh. He almost did it. He almost did it. He did not see that. God, that would have been funny. That would have been so funny. If Frog, the one who announced it to everyone, imagine if he was the one that got cooked by it. I'm hoping we see at least one person fall for it. I mean, obviously that doesn't mean like don't tell them. Like we're gonna tell every group that it's there. I mean, it's on the settings page. We will have all the event hosts make disclaimers. Like all the match hosts just have them tell their groups, hey, this is a rule. Make sure you don't fall for it. And if they do, which I'm really hoping at least one person does, it would be so funny. There's like just one quick, they just completely forget about it. They don't even think, and then boom. I will say though, Elatar taking the early trade and giving Ivor the biggest. And now, if Ivor really wants to, all he has to do is hit a orange 5 to get to Elatar's stack all the way in Ohio now with Pete moving out of the way. The question is, does Samson take that opportunity to completely block Elatar's kill? Because I think I would. He already has a very big stack there. There's really no reason for you to not just block it. I would say if I were Samson, my next play would be to completely block off Ohio from the rest of the board and secure that kill if you want it. Because chances are the kill on Elatar, if things keep going this way, is going to be pretty easy. I will say that Samson doesn't have good lines because he's the only person that doesn't have access to Elatar's position in northern Michigan, which could change. He does have the 2 in Minnesota should he need to just break through something. He has the huge 17 stack sitting in Nebraska. So I would say regardless of anything, Samson can get this kill if he wants it when the trades are higher. I do think it's interesting though that Samson is operating such huge stacks. He's really not he's not really trying to rely on kill guards or anything. I don't think he's worried about his own position considering the person in front of him got absolutely cleaned out. So now Samson really has nothing to fear other than no trade on 4. Interesting. Elatar moves to the front of Ohio before Samson can. Which is interesting. It seems that Elatar doesn't want to be kill guarded. I also just realized Elatar held 12 territories. Elatar saying thanks. And Frog inserts himself into southern Indiana to further block the way into Ohio, and to make sure that he keeps access. Which again, Samson could easily stop if he just moves in front. If Elatar moves the 3 and just lets Samson take that, I mean, it would solve quite a few problems for Elatar. Since I don't think Elatar cares. So kill lines. Arco is shit out of luck for the most part. Samson, natural lines would be on Frog. His lines on Frog aren't actually his friends. Okay. It's not that he doesn't have access to Frog. It's just his stacks aren't super well positioned. Like to get to Indiana, he'd have to hit through Elatar's 3, which might move, which will make it even better. But North Dakota, he'd have to make an entirely new stack. But none of his stacks are exactly cut off from Samson, so that's a big thing. But I'm pretty sure Samson wants Elatar. I think that's his main focus right now. As for Frog, you'd assume he's going for Pete, but he could also be going for Elatar, which it kind of seems that he might be. Actually, no. I think Frog's going for Ivor. Slightly. Kind of. A little. He's next to Ivor just about everywhere. He'd have to punch through Elatar's 40 to the 7 in Northern Michigan. Wouldn't be that much of a cost, because I don't think Elatar's going to add much up there. But again, I don't think Frog's lines are that bad. Arco has a trade on 4, which he probably needed. There is a chance he died this turn if he didn't have one. He does hit Elatar. Is he killing him? No. He's feeding his kill. That's the kind of thing. Arco waited. He waited to do that. Because now Elatar's not going to get a chance to respond. Elatar is going to die. Or at least he should. Does Samson have a trade? I'm starting to think Samson doesn't have a trade. Uh-oh. This is not ideal for Samson. Does he have the trade? And if he does... I mean, okay, if he has the trade, he should 100% go for Elatar right now. Because someone else is going to take it. He doesn't have the trade. That is catastrophic. He is not going to get the kill. Can Frog get the kill? I think he's going to go for it. I'll say this kill's pretty easy. All he's got to do is make sure he has enough for the 4. The 4! He forgot the 4. He forgot the 4. He knows. He sees it. He's stopping. Does he go for it still? He could. If he has enough left over. Yep. Shouldn't have blitzed it. Should have slow rolled. He had time to slow roll. He is getting amazing dice, though. He is going to have this kill. Does he get screwed on the 5? It looks like he's aiming to double into Samson after he does this. He gets the kill. That misplacement was almost bad, but he got amazing... He got incredible dice in Nebraska, frankly. I think he lost 1 on every single stack. There were 4s and 5s in there. Okay, he doesn't have Samson, but he's going to line up for it? Actually, no. What is he lining up for? I think he's just positioning himself. Now he has card advantage. Mr. Scoreboard. Mr. Scoreboard. It's fine. Felice will get to it. Now the question is, unfortunately, Pete's lines to Ivor have been blocked by Arco. So it's kind of not that easy if he wants to go for that kill. Does he go for... Is he just going to kill... No, he's not going to kill anyone. I think he knows... I think if Arco didn't block that, he probably would have gone for Samson. He probably had it. But, I mean, a 10's a little too much. Or not? No, okay. If Ivor doesn't have a trade, it's not good. 57 troops. Trades are at, I believe, 50? No, not yet. 40, okay. He does have the trade. I think he's questioning on whether or not he wants to go for Samson, which he probably could. His lines aren't bad. He'd have to hit through Frog's 4 and Pete's 3, which isn't an insane cost, but a cost nonetheless. Does he have... Okay, never mind. He's not going for it. He wouldn't have placed 16 in North Dakota if he was going for it. I think he had that kill. He probably just wasn't very confident in it, which, I mean, fair, I suppose. I think if he places the troops he put in North Dakota in Missouri, and he puts a little bit of that 30 onto enough to hit the 9, I think he has it. Actually, no, he wouldn't have even needed to, because his stack in South Dakota would have come down and hit into Kansas. Then he could use the troops he put in North Dakota in Iowa, and then he definitely had that kill. So slight misplay, in my opinion. Is Arco going for this? No. I don't think he has that. Samson lives to trade. He's very lucky. I think most people in his position would not have lived to trade. Honestly, he could have gone for Arco. No! Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah, no. I forgot. The no bonus modifier is no longer in effect because someone died. It's only in effect until someone dies. Honestly, I think Samson could have. He maybe could have gone for Arco there. Would have been a trade in only 3 cards though, but it would have been points. And it would have only left him on 3 cards, so his kill wouldn't have been especially valuable. But I don't know. I think Samson probably could have gone for it, but it's probably. I mean, the safe play, I guess, was to just sit there and take the biggest trade, and relax. Okay, Pete wants to kill Arco. The manuals are not being very kind to him, though. I think he shouldn't go for it. I think he should stop. No. Blitz. Yep. 13 on 10. Dice are being very nice. He's got it. He needed some very good dice there. 9 on 5. That could fail. Okay. So he gets the kill. Spends a good bit doing it, but not enough to where he's necessarily going negative. That's the 50 trade? Yeah. 108 troops. Can he circle it into anyone else? I don't think so. I don't think he's positioned to get another kill. Unless he wants to go for Frog. I think that would be his best bet. I just don't think he has enough to do that. But if Frog doesn't have a trade on 4, then things get dire. Actually, did we see his cards? I think he has a trade on 4. Because we are watching through Frog's perspective. Also, in case anyone watched the games last week, this is a 1-game series this time. Last week was 2 games. This week is only 1 game, like round 1. So this is the only game of the group. Next week, quarterfinals will be 2 games again. We're alternating. Makes it a bit more interesting for a points tournament. I think this is a good idea, what PRT is doing for this one. If Samson doesn't have a trade here, there's a chance they die to Frog. The 40 is tricky, though. Frog kind of cut himself off to this kill. Not entirely, but getting it with the 55 trade is going to be very difficult. Less difficult if he has troops from a bonus. Ooh, that was a misplay. That was a huge misplay by Samson. This makes it easier for Frog to get this kill. I'll say this matters. The troops matter. Put it on Cleveland. He's got to be resourceful here. 42. No, that's too much. Too much. Put more on the 42. More on the 42. He can't afford to. No, more on the 42. More on the 42. Dude. Okay. Uh-oh. This could fail. Oh, dude, just manual. You have 90 seconds. He gets it. And he gets a wild. This puts him in huge advantage. The question is, do either of these players have trades on 3? And do they try to make something of them? Yeah. Frog doesn't have to do anything. Now, the question is, does... yeah, 69 sec. The question is, does Pete try to kill Ivor? No. He is going to... I mean, to be fair, there's a chance that Frog doesn't even have a trade on 3. Now, we know that he does. This is a known fact to us exclusively. But, it's safe to assume that he wouldn't. So so Ivor and Pete don't have to be desperate. But they should hit him. Ivor takes a card. Trades in. Smart. He probably would have died. Or not died, but higher chance he would have lost. More trips on the board means higher stacks, harder to roll. The question is, I don't think he goes for a kill here. Because not, if one of them had traded on 3, then I could see him going for a kill and then just assuming the other person can't win. But considering they both are still in 4, have trades incoming, it's probably for the best that Frog doesn't try to kill. Now we get into an interesting endgame here. If both of these guys have trades, this game lasts a little longer. If one of them doesn't, this game probably goes to Frog. If Pete does not have a trade here, Ivor has a chance. If Ivor doesn't have a trade, I'm pretty sure the game's just over. Pete has a trade. Does he go for Ivor? I think he should. Personal opinion. Okay, he is going to. This is his best play. Even if it doesn't win him the game, it gets him the points, which I would say matter quite a lot. Ooh, this 40 is going to be useless to him, though. It's cut off. He has enough troops, though. He's got plenty. This kill is secure. Yep. So don't cut off more than you need to. Roll the 11 on 7 right now. The 11 on 7 is not a 100% roll. Okay. Me personally, I roll that first, man. I am not that confident in my dice. Pete has the troop. Pete does not have the troop lead, but he has the card lead by two cards. It's gonna be at least 2 turns before Frog has cards. Pete might have a trade next turn. Chances are this game goes Pete's favor, depending on how good his blitzes are. Ooh, that secures it, I think. Depends on how bad Pete's cards are. I mean, if Frog has brilliant pathing here, and Pete doesn't have a trade on 3, there's a chance. Slim, that's a chance. But he needs to hit as much as humanly possible. His pathing's pretty good right now. He opens the 12 in only one direction. He's not hitting anything that he doesn't want to. I think he should have hit those 3s in that 4. I don't think he should have left those. It's going to make him harder. It's going to make it harder for him to win this off of Pete not having a trade. Because he still needs the troops. Especially because he already opened the 12. The 12 can really screw him. But he's got to sit right in front of it. Yep, cut him down as much as you can. Dice are good. Knocks him under 12. Sit right in front. Yeah. Pete gets 3. He has the trade. That is GG. GG's to Pete. Pete Reno. And good game. Also, Felice, Samson was killed by Frog. I think you put it as Pete got that kill. Pete did not get that kill. Frog got that kill. Right? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm muted. Yeah, we are.
Okay, cool. I'll just hang out then.
Okay.
That was a bit of a wild one, huh?
It was. This was a very interesting game, in my opinion.